Hey guys, Mary Meet, and welcome to this episode of Bewitching the Moon. And, yeah, this is the new moon we're working on. I'm filming this, or recording this Wednesday evening, but the new moon is tomorrow, Thursday, October 19th at 3:12 p.m., and it's in Libra. And Libra is very much about balance, and we're in that time of year right now, okay? We just passed the autumnal equinox, where things were perfectly balanced, and now our balance is shifting into the dark half of the year. We're heading towards Samhain, and yeah, it's this time where the balance has shifted a little bit, but we're super hyper focused on that balance, right? So as for me, that is manifesting in doing shadow work, okay? Balancing light and dark, okay? Balancing the conscious with the subconscious, balancing my spiritual life with my mundane life, and just trying to get by and do what needs to be done. So I am doing so much shadow work right now. I have, actually one of my kind of themes in my life is I go through these phases of expansion and contraction, okay? Where when I'm in a phase of expansion, I'm making friends, I am doing things, I'm taking on new projects, I'm excited about everything. And you could actually relate this to bipolar too. But I am building and creating and trying to get things started, right? But when I'm in this phase of contraction, I'm going within. I am kind of mapping my inner landscape, if you will. I am spending more time on doing personal, quiet, reflective things. So yeah, and it really does manifest socially, right? So I go through these phases where I'm making friends, I'm social, I'm working with groups, I'm doing all these different things. And then contraction, where I'm solitary, where I'm just quiet and introverted. And yeah, I've been going through some things with some people that I trusted that, I don't know, I have some regrets. I'm kind of pulling back, and one of the things that I'm working on with my shadow work is a continuation of a lesson that I should have learned this spring, but clearly didn't because it needed to be reinforced a couple more times, and that is just not to go all in. That is, don't go all in with people. I have this tendency to just, if I meet someone I like, if I, feel slightly connected with somebody, I go all in, and I cannot do that anymore. I can't do that to myself. So that's one of the things that I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with reflecting on how things that have happened in my past keep manifesting themselves in my present, and how to deal with that. Anyways, lots of shadow work, okay? And if you're interested in shadow work, there's just a little side plug. I actually have just listed a reading in my Etsy shop that is integrating light and shadow, okay? So it's kind of meant for that. It's kind of meant for shadow work. And this is a perfect time of year to do that, okay? So we're also in the Celtic tree month of Ivy. And that, again, we talked about that last episode. That's about the end of the harvest, okay? Taking stock of what we learned over the harvest season, looking at our wins and our losses, and also looking to the future, looking to the lessons that we learned. How can we take those into the future, okay? What have we learned? How have we grown? How can we improve, okay? But it's also, we also discussed how ivy grows in a spiral. And so the spiral kind of represents a cycle, okay, where you're spiraling, you keep coming back to the same place, okay? So it can represent the wheel of the year. And here we are back in autumn, which is my favorite time. This is my favorite time of year. The weather is finally getting colder, which I love. But yeah, it's also, it can be the wheel of the year. It can be repeating the same stupid cycles over and over again like I've been doing. Yeah, it's, having a lesson repeated to you until you finally get it, right? So again, that cycle, Just think about the cycle, think about the wheel of the year, think about, you know, the wheel of fortune and how it kind of comes around. And Ivy is also ruled by Saturn, which Saturn is about boundaries, okay? And it is about that kind of contraction, okay? It's about testing your limits and then going back within, right? It is about finding your limitations. And so, yeah, that's huge for all the shadow work I'm doing and all the, yeah, I mean, Saturn is great for shadow work, excuse me. So, great time of year for that stuff. Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't really have that much to talk about today. I did want to tell you, there are 2 stones that I'm really drawn to right now. And I like to talk about rocks. I don't know if you knew that. So yeah, there are 2 stones that I'm working with quite a lot right now. Again, this is all kind of internal. I'm trying to balance emotional and intellectual, or reason and feelings, right? So to that end, I have been really drawn to blue, okay? The color blue, it's very mental, okay? It's about wisdom, it's about learning, it's about intelligence, it's about anything mental and not emotional. You know, it's also a little bit emotional, as, you know, blue is often the color of water. However, it's more often known as a color that you use to work with your throat chakra or your third eye chakra. So, 2 stones that I've been really, really drawn to are lapis. And I don't know, I've always called it lapis lazuli because I had an ex who called it that and it stuck. It may be lapis lazuli, I don't really know. But I have this lovely sphere of lapis. So we're just going to call it lapis, I'll make it easy, right? And it has the pyrite veins. It's got that blue. I don't know how well you can see that blue. I hope the lights are really doing it justice. But yeah, so this is used for third eye and throat chakras. It's good for anything spiritual, okay? And with this going within and introverting, that's a spiritual process. That really is. That's when I really start to examine my belief and the things I want to accomplish spiritually. I'm even type A with my little spiritual practices. So it's good for spiritual journeying. It's good for spiritual and personal power. It's also very protective. Okay, so it blocks psychic attack. It returns psychic attack energy to the sender, which is great. You know, they should, you know, be able to take their own medicine. Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm under psychic attack. I just feel like a lot of people in my life that I trusted are dropping off. And so I'm feeling very protective of myself. Yeah, it's about self-knowledge and self-expression, because when you know yourself, you can express yourself a little bit more. You are coming from a position of strength when you have a firm self-knowledge. So yeah, and it also clears the mind. And another thing that I'm doing that's coming up for me is NaNoWriMo. It's starting in November. And so I'm looking at very, again, mental things. Like, I want something that clears the mind. I want something for focus. I want something for concentration, that sort of thing. So this is going to be really good for that. Clears the mind, clears confusion. Awesome, right? Because I need to be really focused on what I'm doing. And again, NaNoWriMo or just writing in general are very solitary pursuits. So I'm really looking forward to that. I need a break. I need quiet Amy time where I'm producing something that I care about. So now another stone that I have been really hyper about. Oh, you know what? I didn't bring my third one. I'll talk about it a little bit. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll talk about it in the next video. But that is sodalite, right? And sodalite, this is really good because it is a stone of balance. And I really hope the lights are showing the blue on that because they're really bright. I can't see it, but hopefully it's showing up for you. They're really a vivid blue, okay? Now, sodalite brings together logic and intuition, okay? So there's that balance, that Libra balance. It unites your conscious with your subconscious. And again, that is all up in what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to, balance that inner work with everything that I've been doing that's external. It's good for meditation, which I could use some meditation. It's good for finding the truth of things, finding your own personal truth and finding the actual factual truth. It's good for releasing old mental conditioning, which, again, that's shadow work, right? You're kind of looking into, why do I do these things? And yeah, that's mental conditioning, right? It clears confusion. Again, perfect. And it's good for shadow work. It brings things up, but it brings them up gently, okay? So you can deal with them gently and in your own time and in your own way, right? Now, obsidian, which I've got some obsidian over here, brings your stuff up too. It's also really good for shadow work, but it is not gentle, okay? Obsidian is when you are in this place where you feel totally stable. Where's my other? I've got a rainbow obsidian somewhere. Anyways, where you're in a place where you feel totally stable and you feel totally good and you feel healthy and you can deal with all the crazy shit that comes up, right? But if you're feeling kind of wishy-washy, don't use obsidian, right? Because it is not kind and gentle and sweet. It is kind of crazy. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Actually, a lot of I've been looking at a lot of predictions for Capricorn for this Libra new moon, and they're all saying that it's focused around new friends and new people coming in, and I'm like on the opposite side of the spectrum. I have old people that are leaving. So it's really weird. I don't know how that's going to manifest, but yeah, so my intention for this new moon is to work on my shit, do some shadow work, introvert a little bit, kind of adjust from being outspoken, extroverted, very active, very connected, to being less connected, less active, introverted, okay? So it's going to be about that transition for me. And that's perfect for this time of year too. So yeah. So that's it. Let me know how this new moon is going for you. It's an interesting that Libra moon, man, that balance, like, what are you balancing? You know, are you balancing your work life and your home life? Are you balancing emotional and mental? Are you balancing your spiritual world with the mundane world? Are you what are you balancing? So let me know in the comments, and that's it. Hope you guys are having a great new moon, and blessed be. Bye-bye.